Hey everybody, it's Scotty from Scotty's Record Shop with a video that I am entitling Free Records. Why? Well, first of all, free records, not for you, unfortunately. For me, I'm calling it free records because this is what this pile consists of. Um, December, because of Christmas and some other things that were going on, was not a record buying month. Didn't have money for records. The only thing that's in this pile that was purchased was actually a leftover from um, Record Store Day from last month that I forgot to show. So, two different people contributed, and there's some decent stuff in here. So, just because it's free doesn't mean that it isn't good. So, let's start off with something that is interesting. Wasn't free though, um, and it's Christmas too. It's a Christmas record. This is that Les Paul Mary Ford 10-inch. Mine that I got happened to be the red one. Really, really nice. Great record, great sounding. EP or whatever you want to call it, 10-inch, left over from Record Store Day. First person that gave me records, actually the first pile I'm going to look at, a lady I work with, a nurse named Ann, let me know she had some records in her garage. And, those are, I love that when people come up to me and say, do you want some records? Realistically, 9 times out of 10, I can't use them, or they're just so banged up that there's not much use for them. When I can't use them, I pass them on if they're usable. So they don't go to waste. They don't just, I don't have a room in my house to just have a pile of records that I'm not going to use or whatever that I already have 3 copies of. In her pile, it was kind of an up and down kind of roller coaster ride because she had, she said these were in a garage for years, hadn't been played for years. And when I was first looking at the titles, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is so cool. This is so cool. So a lot of them were beat up, were kind of old, but there were some in there that were salvageable. And as far as I'm concerned, if I can get one record out of a pile of records, I'm happy. That's one record that's not going to waste. And there was a few I haven't completely gone through. She gave me about 100 albums. I sorted through and said, okay, without even looking at the condition, I said, I already have this, or I know who would want this, or, whatever. The weird, deceiving thing about this pile was the covers were all in really, really great shape. Some weird anomaly about, I don't know what it was about them, but side 2 on most of these records were kind of shot. I don't know what the deal was. If you had a you remember those old record players where you'd put several records and it would drop down, then the next one would drop down on top of it, and kind of, maybe that's, I don't quite know. But these are the ones that I was able to salvage that I can show right now. First one, the cover needs to be reglued. It's not split seamed, it just needs to be reglued. But in pretty decent shape. This is from 69-ish or so, from the Rascals. Good album from them. I was dropping the needle. Not in mint shape, but it's playable. This is another one that wasn't in mint shape, but it's playable. And it's interesting. It's very mellow. I'd never heard anything by these guys with the exception of the one song, Love Can Make You Happy. This is a group called Mercy. And this is the album Love Can Make You Happy. Covers are in just amazingly great shape. The record's playable, so I was happy. This one not only the cover is in good shape, but the record actually was in really, really good shape. Mongo Jerry. All I'd ever heard from Mongo Jerry was In the Summertime. Very interesting record, actually. All over the place. Musically, really kind of cool. And this one was, if there was a record that I could say was a great keeper all the way through, this one was it. This was just in really nice shape. And I didn't have it. This one is in pretty good shape. Actually, better than pretty good. In really quite good shape. I may already have it. So I do have this. But I think I know where this one's going. So I'm just going to see which one's in better shape, mine or this one. This is an original pressing too. This is like a 68 pressing, nice and thick, so thick that you look at the vinyl and you know how that sometimes thick vinyl is like, will it play? It won't it play? This was one of those will it play or won't it play? And it played pretty good. So The Stones, I love that. I was just listening to this. I love this record. Great record. Um, Another thing that's back there, I mean, I'm looking through these records as like Doors albums, original Doors albums, and the covers are in great shape. Jimi Hendrix smash hits with the poster. I'm keeping that. The poster is in immaculate shape. I'd never seen the poster from that album. The record is toast. The cover is great. So if I can find a nice original pressing with the cover that's toast and with the poster that's not missing, I've got the cover and I've got the poster. So I'm going to keep that. Doors records, like I said, those were kind of toasted. I was oh man, because they were original pressings. They did kind of sort of play good enough to get me into the groove again with some Doors stuff. Original pressings, those old Elektra pressings from '68-ish, sounded so great. They did. They really, really sounded good. Better than the like '80s pressings, in my opinion. So, and I have like '70s pressings of all my stuff from the Doors, pretty much. So, okay, let's get into it. My friend Roger, who works at WRBC with me at a college radio station, several years ago, WRBC just decided they were going to give away a lot of their records. Not a lot of them, but some of their records. They'd had a few, gone to a few record shows, and I'd bought a few. But they had this piles and piles and piles of records out. And take it, it's free. My friend Roger went nuts, not really certain on what he was grabbing or really caring. And they all stayed at his mom's house. And the other week we were at his mom's house. His parents are both in a nursing home now, and they're getting rid of the house, blah, 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 blah. If you've been through that, you know what kind of hell that is. Anyway, there's a bunch of records that he didn't want. He's like, go through them and see what you want. All right. Not bad. As some of you know, I like Australian bands, especially Australian bands like 60s and 70s, early 80s, Australian bands that we don't know about here in America. Not that Men at Work are bad or Midnight Oil or whatever. AC/DC, obviously not bad, but everybody knows them. But this is one group, a rock group, hard rock group that couldn't even come to America on their own name because there was already a band here called Angel. So they had to call themselves Angel City. They're a good Australian band. I got a couple of their records. These are both promotional pressings. Again, they've got the WRJR, RBC marking stuff on them, but you've got a nice little promo tag on the back here. But the records inside are really great. Nobody played these things at RBC. So there's that. This one, the cover is kind of beat, but I was uncertain about the record, but the record's fine. You got a nice chunk out here. I'll be looking for another copy of this, at least cover-wise. But this is a promotional pressing as well from Angel. This isn't a promotional pressing. I don't know. Somebody just gave him this 38 special record. Mid-'80s, it's not my favorite period of 38 special, but it was one I didn't have, and it's in great shape. So I said, thank you very much. Some more promotional stuff. This is a Jim Capaldi LP. Promo. Again, it's got the writing on it, the sticker crap from RBC, or at this point in time, I believe we were, we weren't RJR back then, we were RBC. But again, nobody cared about this record for whatever reason. So the record itself plays fine. Couple of Russ Ballard records. Again, promotional pressings. Covers, yeah. Albums, great. Another Russ Ballard. These are in decent shape. It's one that he got in a pile. He doesn't like this band. Roger doesn't like this band. I thought they were kind of cool, though. Nice, great shape. C-Train. I don't mind C-Train, so. What do we got here? Oh, Chris Christopherson album. This is another one of those. A lot of people like Chris Christopherson's songwriting. A lot of people have a hard time with his singing, or whatever you want to call it that he's doing. He kind of sings. He's kind of like Dylan. I mean, I love Dylan. Don't crap on me because I said that. But I mean, Dylan doesn't have a great voice. Dylan is a songwriter. You know what I mean? And he uses his voice to portray his wonderful songs. Chris Christopherson's the same way. Not the greatest singer in the world, but boy, what a great songwriter. And the album's in great shape. Thank you very much, Roger. Cover of this is beat. But the record, again, plays, and it's one I didn't have. Helen Reddy. Yeah, laugh at me, okay? I like Helen Reddy. This is her first album. Again, it's the cover's beat up, but the record is in good shape. Frank Mills, he had one and only hit in 78-ish or so, 79, that Music Box Dancer, instrumental song. Record's in great shape. Okay. I'm not even going to apologize for this one. Bad. Hey, look. Engelbert Humperdinck, and it's mint, and it was free, and I didn't have it. What can I say? Segovia. This is still in the shrink. I don't even know if it was ever played. Roger's a guitar player. I said, you really need to check this guy out. He's like, I don't have the time or the room at the house. Fine, I'll take it. Thank you very much. This is one that it's in every dollar bin, every Goodwill. The thing is, though, is finding it in really, really nice shape is an issue. And I remember this from when I was a kid. Very sad record in a lot of ways. The JFK album. This is in really, really, really great shape. So that's why I grabbed it. Who else we got? Okay. Didn't know much about this band. But from the moment I dropped the needle on this first album by this band, very okay with me. Roger, you didn't know what you had with this group, and you're not getting these back. Love you, buddy, but you ain't getting them back. The band Moxie. These are all original. Just check this out. This is a promo pressing. I'd never seen a label. That's not the lighting, okay, for this Mercury label. It really is blue and white. It's hard to see, I know. There you go. There's a good shot of it. Of course, it does say WRJR, which is station. These are in, I don't know if they ever were even played. They're in excellent shape. Moxie 1, Moxie 2, promo as well. Let me see, what was the next one that came out? I believe this was your next Moxie that came out. And this Moxie, which this was the Moxie album, I believe. Yeah, this was the Moxie album with Mike Reno, who replaced Buzz. This is not, as people don't like this album quite as much. I think this was the one that had him on it. Yeah. I didn't mind it, but I'll tell you, the first couple of Moxie albums they were great. A couple more, and I'll let you guys go. At least for this video. I've got one more video coming after this. All right. Vanilla Fudge. It's in great shape. Before I tell you it's an original pressing, let's take a look. Original pressing. Thank you very much. In great shape. Another one of those. Roger is not a fan of Vanilla Fudge. Loves the rhythm section. Who wouldn't? But is not a fan of Vanilla Fudge. This last one, some of you out there would go, this would be the grail of it all. I like the record a lot. I'm not going to get rid of it. Late 80s, early 90s vinyl, you know how hard that is to find. This is not only late 80s, early 90s, actually 89. It's an original press. It's a promotional pressing, and it was mint. It'd never been played. Faith No More. Yep, he didn't want it. He's like, these guys, he didn't like them. Original pressing and mint, dead mint. And like I said, it's let me see where the promotional thing is on here. Is it on the front? Is it on the back? It's somewhere. Yep, right there. Can you see that? Right there. Promotional pressing. Thank you very much. So for a month that I had no money for records, I think I did pretty dang good. Got one more video to go, and that'll be an Elvis video. I'm going to wrap up the year 2015 with Elvis. That's the way I started it, if you want to go way back down my list of videos for this year. So I'll see you guys, depending on when you watch this, if you watched them in the order I'm uploading these, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. As always, peace and love.